Hi, my name is Wendley and welcome to another gesture drawing critique video. And this time we're going to look at Alex's drawings, which he sent me for feedback. So let's get started. I think the opacity of the drawings is okay as it is. So let me just zoom in a little bit. Now the first thing that I notice is that you, uh, Alex, have very good line quality. You have very good uh, strokes, meaning that the thing I see most artists do is like break down the lines into these little ideas, like almost that they are afraid of uh, putting down lines, and you don't have that. You draw with long and fluid strokes, which is definitely a good thing. So that's something you should definitely keep up. Um, as to what to improve, the first thing that I notice is that here and there your figures tend to lose fluidity, and that's mostly because of a lack of rhythm. For example, in this leg, you have a very good start uh, at the thigh here with both the rhythms and the shapes, but when it comes here, especially around the foot, things start looking a little odd. So this is definitely good. You have this curve coming here, then it goes into the knee. Then energy is flowing at the front of the foot, and then it's getting caught by the heel, and then it goes over the top of the foot, then it shoots out into the toes. And I'm just, of course, drawing a quick abstraction of what would happen. I think you did this from a reference, right? So I don't have the reference. I don't know exactly what the foot looked like, but this is how the leg would function. Energy would be flowing at the front, and then at the back, and then at the top of the foot, then it would go over into the toe areas. And from there you can start to refine the structure and the anatomy and all that stuff on top. But what really makes the leg function and look right is you understanding what is happening at an abstract level. So I will put a straight here, and you definitely have a good shape. Maybe you would have the calf. Then you can continue blocking in the anatomy and stuff. But my point really with this leg was um, that you had a good start here at the thigh, but just uh, um, just keep an eye out for getting the right rhythms. Because as I mentioned a couple of times before, the design of the human body is based on the principle of rhythm. So, and that's really one of the major keys to get figures that are fluid and have a sense of unity. The body should feel as one and not as a bunch of parts glued together. Let's see. In this leg also, he had a pretty good start at the top here, but then the leg is losing fluidity and connectivity, I should say, here. And what rhythm really does, it leads the eye from one place to the next, and that is really what's creating the sense of movement. Your eye is being led from here to here to here to here by these curves. And again, at an abstract level, that is what is happening with the human body. So you would have the knee overlapping, go around the ankles, then you would have the toes and all this stuff happening down here. Then you would Start placing the kneecap and such, and the rest of the anatomy, calf muscles, ankle bones, etc. But what you should really look for at the very beginning is the pad of rhythm. That is really what will create a sense of movement, and it helps you understand how the leg is functioning. It really comes down to the function actually. The design of the human body is um, it's based to fulfill its function actually, to allow it to move and keep in balance. Okay, so let's see. Let's take a look at this one. This one looks pretty good as well. What you want to watch out for is this kind of generic symmetrical shapes. And I understand where you are coming from, and they are definitely good for um, to train yourself, train your mind to sense volume. But if you don't get past that, your figures will end up looking very generic, and especially when you start getting into I'm deleting that. Especially when you start getting into let's say illustration and character designs, you definitely should pay attention to shapes also because shapes help you capture likeness and character and individuality. And if you keep drawing with these generic shapes, then all your characters might end up looking generic. Um, so going back to the design of the arm, at an abstract level, the arm is really one big curve at the back, and then you have these two straights at the front. Then you have the wrist, and then you have the hand here, and then you would have the shoulder inserting in here, something like this. Just a quick abstraction. So the curve of the arm is really the major curve is at the back, and at the front side it's straighter. It's not as curved as it is at the front. So this is a handy abstraction to keep in mind when dealing with the arms. And then you can come back and now we can start adding the uh, the anatomy on top. Now we can continue sculpting it, and of course the biceps can have volume, but you just need to be cautious not to make things too symmetrical. And again, if you take a good look at the real figures, you will see that you don't really have these generic shapes. Even when you look at maybe someone who is very slender, and you think that you are seeing like a pipe shape. If you look closely, you will see that there is a difference between the sides, meaning that uh, one side will be slightly more curved than the other side. You will get different type of shapes. It's never really a generic pipe because the human figure is fluid, you know. So that's definitely something you should pay more attention to. So let's see. In the case of this arm, let me just move this around over here. I like the sense of energy that you managed to capture. You can clearly feel the figure leaning into the movement this way, and it comes all the way into the shoulders and stuff. So great job on that. And then have the energy flowing from. here for the back of the arm. Let me actually zoom out for this one because it's a little more comfortable for me to draw this way. Mm, yeah, it's better. We've got energy flowing this way and then into the hand, the wrist area. So remember this abstraction, right? We know that the curve, the major curve is at the back. So I put a straight here. And this gives me a good basis to design the asymmetrical shapes of the body on top. We have the hand there. And then I will start adding the muscles, definitely. Of course, I don't have the reference, so I'm just drawing some simple shapes just to illustrate my point here. And you would have the triceps, deltoid connecting. Then I would look more carefully at the shape of the biceps, and just to make sure that I don't end up with some generic X shape. I want the unique and individual shape of of the arm of the figure that I'm drawing at that moment. Then I would come back and refine the forearm a little bit. We would have the muscles, forearm muscles and stuff. And again, hopefully you can see that the arm now has more character and more individuality than just a generic egg shape. Let's see what more. In the case of this leg, mm, it's not bad. What I would do personally is I would emphasize what is happening with the foot a little bit more, meaning that energy is flowing from here. Actually, let me start drawing from the top. We got energy coming from here and then over the top of the leg, going over the knee. I think the curve would be at the back in this case, and the straight at the front. Then we have the ankle, and then the energy that is being transferred to the back, through the back of the calf muscles would be caught by the top of the foot. Then I would emphasize the pressure, because it seems to me like he's like pressing with his toes on some kind of surface. So I would emphasize that a little bit more than you have here. Then you have the rest of the foot. Then you can come in and start shaping out the toes, adding some of the anatomy. During this action, his calf muscles is probably flexed, so I would emphasize the muscle a little bit, give it a little more definition, just to show that it is doing quite some work in this action. And you have the knee. And again, I don't have the reference, so I'm just drawing from my memory here of drawing the figure many times, just to illustrate my point. Um, so yeah, really, again, really good drawings. Just in some areas, you should pay more attention to the rhythms of the figure to really get that sense of connectivity and create um, the illusion of movement actually on the drawing surface. All right, so yeah, definitely keep it up. You're doing some great work. Again, pay attention to rhythms and shapes. Really look at the shapes of the figure that you're drawing instead of using these generic egg shapes. They are good for starting out to get a sense of volume, as I said before. But at a certain point, you really need to go past that to really start capturing character and individuality. Alright, I hope this helps, and if you guys are enjoying these videos, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.